Continuing with the question how our sequence uses titles. For our sequence, the font we use are Black Chancery, as all the titles that appears in our sequence. We carefully selected all titles using the color white, as it is eye-catching in our whole sequence where there's dark lighting, while on the other hand, the color white also acts as a connotation of purity, innocence, and clearness, which relates to our theme. As in our opening sequence, we are demonstrating a girl trying to do ritual, which connects to the fact that she's innocent, and her curiosity is the key driving factor that lead her to these actions. And as all things shown in the opening sequence is when the girl is about to be possessed by heaven. It emphasized the contrast and boundary between good and evil, while highlighting how innocent the girl was before being possessed. This is illustrated through the contrast created by dark lighting and the white color of the title. Furthermore, focusing on the font of the title as Black Chancery have clear edges with small line coming out of the letters, which gives the audience a mystery sense like magic spells, and that it looks old with history, which portrays features of the ritual. Then how our title order followed the conventional form. Our title order we followed conventions as we used Mission Impossible 2015 as an template you follow through. Although for our opening sequence we followed the exact order, but we added some more names and roles provided by the structure that Premiere Pro provided. Have we challenged any conventions? We haven't challenged any conventions as through previous slides. Um, our groups follows the iconography by including skeleton, the color of blood, and shares many similarities with horror genre films, including how we use normal setting to first build up a comfortable atmosphere, then use a sharp contrast at the end to trigger audience emotion, and how we use camera to construct perspective to narrow the audience view and forcing them to capture some small detail we left to them, and how we use teenage characters as they are innocent to drive audience stereotypical views towards the teenagers, and also how the whole film is in dark lighting using sound effect to emphasize or highlight the jump scares. We haven't chosen to challenge any conventions as we didn't realize we were following the conventions of horror films due to all previous horror films we watched. These conventions within the genre is normalizing our specific views to horror films, relating horror films directly with blood, death, and red, so as an audience perspective when viewing these other films, as these element appears frequently, which increases our fear towards these elements. And also through all the shot it provides us details to swap, like figuring out what's going to happen by ourselves, which increase our attention and start feeling the emotion of scary. This is the reason why we use these elements again targeting audience fear, following the conventions, as these patterns and element has been tried many times, and it is also an effective strategy to guide the audience in while they feel the horror atmosphere. Our decision in not challenging the conventions also linked to the repetition and difference theory proposed by Steve Neill. According to Steve Neill, repetition and difference are both presented in every genre, and difference is crucial to the economy of the genre. Um, he also mentioned um how closely movie genre and characteristic are linked, how closely it adheres to specific traditions and preconception of its genre. A movie cannot be classified as belonging to a genre unless it adheres to its role and conventions, which is what we adapt. Moving on to the representation. The first representation is that in the opening sequence, the ritual is represented as dangerous. The scene opens with a wide shot of the girl sitting on the bed. She's wearing a red hoodie while reading the book using the color red through her costume, which adds as a connotation of danger and warning sign, implying something is going to happen to the girl relating with the actions that she's going to do, guided by the book. Then the next shot through a close-up shot of the book portrayed through a point of view shot. The audience is revealed to the procedure of the ritual as the lighting flashes on the page while audience view is guided through her fingers sliding down the page and stopped at the fireball. Thus, it led the audience to spot the element of fire, which directly linked to danger. Moreover, when she seated down in the chairs, the medium shot from the front uses the color red again through the lightings. The lights flash on her face is all red, cooperating with the background music, which uses all flat notes, while one track uses the sound of wind to portray the mysterious and horror atmosphere, highlighting the dangerousness, building up the tensions. Then, in the medium shot of the girl pouring the powder, she breaks from the bone. The use of lighting that shines onto the smoke to catch audience attention. It implies the abnormalness, providing a sense that there's a soul in the room and there's another spirit, while in the background music it uses small chanting voice to represent the evil spirit coming towards the girl. Then through the close-up shot of the girl lighting the fire, fire is highlighted again, and as background lighting is dark, thus it emphasizes the brightness and powerful of the fire in the scene. It also demonstrates how her soul is burning and fading away at the end to hint about the possession happening to her. When the powder is added, it made red and green color. Through the extreme close-up of the green, fire connotates possessiveness and rebirth, especially using a medium shot of the explosion of spark exaggerated through the plastic sound of sparks to shock the audience, targeting their fear and frightened emotions. Furthermore, through the insert shot of the posters, where a girl is trying to grab the other girl, portrayed in color red, is considered as another warning that the girl is in danger. With the use of color red and contrast between white and red, while there's also contrast with the girl representing life, while all these deadly props representing death. Lastly, through the faster editing pace and rising chanting voice in the background music, then twist in the music style cooperating with extreme close-up of her opening the eye implies change occurs on her after the ritual. This is a negative stereotype and representation of the ritual, relating the ritual with a stereotype that the process of life and death or the win as the process of life and death or the window to afterlife. This confirms to the narrow stereotypes. It has adheres the stereotype. Through all these techniques, it highlighted the concept again, reinforcing the stereotype to normalize it. This negative stereotype also relates to the theory of Fisk, who claimed there's two layers of meaning within the media. Connotation is what is being filmed, and denotation is what is being filmed, and connotation is the hidden meaning. In this case, the use of color red as denotation connotate danger, which impact audience emotion and feeling towards the sequence and representation. The second representation is that the girl is represented as innocent and curious. The scene first opens with the wide shot of the girl reading through the books, while the main source of lighting in the shot is the candle, which creates a sense that lighting is flashing in the room. The flashes could convey the fact that she's innocent and curiousness, as it reflects her fluctuating mood, a heart that wants to explore, while it also represents how her thoughts flashes, demonstrating her frustration in deciding and exploring the action to try the ritual. Moreover, the background music is representing the same pattern of notes, but for every note there will be an echo, which also convey her hesitation, lack of interpretation towards the dangerousness of the ritual. Then the close-up of the book. Audience are revealed to the procedure of the ritual while the girl slides her finger down the book, which imply her emotion of exploring. Then through the medium shot from the side of the table, it demonstrates her body gesture, leaning towards the table, highlighting her desire to complete the ritual, followed by a medium shot from the front while the candle's light flashes on her face, demonstrating her serious and nervous facial expression. At the same time, the titles and bones she's holding is all portrayed in color white, which as a connotation of blankness and innocence, implying she is a blank of paper who just started trying out the ritual. Moreover, through the close-up shot of her pouring the liquid in the bowl with digestive sound being, it portrays her emotions being too nervous, having shaky hands. This is a negative stereotype of teenager as innocent and curious, while while at the same time portrays them with the image with the image that they are the ones who's always get in troubles. This is normalizing audience stereotypical views towards them, which could also affect their action. Teenagers were always being the one they blame first while also viewing them as innocent, limiting their opportunity to express themselves, viewing them as ones who don't and can't carry the task. This relates to binary opposition, portraying one side with positive representation while representing the other one with negative representation. In this case, is innocent vs mature. Although in our opening title sequence, the girl is the only character, but at the same time she is represented as innocent. It is also providing glory for her parents, hinting that they are the ones who are more mature. Moving on to the last representation of the girl as reckless. In the opening sequence, the girl is represented as reckless, being a risk taker. In the breaking ingredients scene, throughout the medium shot of the girl with long shot length with the element of bone was highlighted by the candles, which emphasized the contrast in colors, white being the brightest color while everything around was lighted by the candles with color red. Then through the edit of close-up shot to extreme close-up of the pestle and mortar, the girl's power was illustrated by her action of breaking the bones, following with the medium shot um, with diegetic sound when she pours the water inside the mortar, implying her negligence, not being careful to make sure every action follows the procedure written on the book. Moreover, through the medium shot of lighting the match with the fire, through the framing of her face in the center of the frame, her calm emotions were demonstrated through her expressionless poker face, suggesting her characteristic of fearlessness towards fire and flame. Furthermore, in the experience theme, the dangerousness of the fire was portrayed through close-up and extreme close-up of bright red and green flame falling by spark, demonstrating the fact that flame could lead to explosion. This great contrast with the character's emotion illustrated through the slow editing pace, while the shot highlighted fast pace of fire burning, implying her calm emotions and organizations when facing the dangerous situation. Furthermore, through insert shots of showing dangerous element, including spider bones, candles, scary posters, it implies her unique favor in gathering horror elements. This is a positive representation of the girl being reckless risk taker. Through this representation, it challenged narrow stereotypes of girl being emotional and timid, especially when they face dangerous situation. Their emotions was always emphasized by the tears. In our opening sequence, she is represented as calm and organized, interested in objects that are often categorized and linked with males. Her interest in discovery and exploring new scenes could also engage and influence female audience that they could freely express themselves. Not only male could explore dangerous concepts. This linked to the Mulvey theory of male gaze, who state that females are often dehumanized, whereas they are always the objectification, while male are the identification. But in our sequence, we demonstrate that female are more than a physical object for male to observe, but with complex characteristics. On the other hand, it also relates to Butler's theory, where the gender is performative mean. Our characteristic, our character is not characterized with feminine characteristics. She is not characterized with color pink. She don't like makeups, dolls. Instead, she like bones, fires, which often relate to males. Thank you for watching my presentation.